Good morning, guys. Welcome back to another YouTube video. Today, basically, I'm gonna be taking you through every single thing I eat in a day to maintain my weight loss without being super restrictive. Just for some context, like currently I'm sitting kind of in the lower half of the 120s with my weight, and before I went through my most previous like weight loss, fat loss phase, I was constantly sitting around like 138. We're down consistently about 15 pounds, which is really exciting. And I've been maintaining it for this year. So I don't know, these are my most popular videos on YouTube and everybody loves them. I hope they give you all a lot of food and recipe ideas and just ways to maintain all of your goals, even if you're in a weight loss phase or you're in a maintenance phase. All of these things are gonna be really good staples that you can use. I'm such a quick, on the go, fast and easy girl. I do not spend hours in the kitchen. And I also love to eat foods that I love. Let's get into it. We're about to make breakfast. I'm back on my protein bagel kick for breakfast lately. My favorite ones that I always get are the Sola blueberry ones. They're about 15 grams of protein per bagel and they're pretty big. Bagels are literally probably one of my favorite foods. I mean, I know bagels are so popular, but nobody eats them for weight loss because they think that carbs are bad. But I'm here to tell you, I eat these all the time. Absolutely delish. So I'm gonna show you how I make mine. Y'all wanna know what's crazy? I literally had a TikTok get almost 3 million views a couple days ago for making loaded cereal, which is like cereal with toppings and fruit and all this stuff on it. And I loved it. It was the first time I've done it. Yes, I've had cereal and fruit before, duh, but you put other stuff on it, which makes it really good. And so I'm gonna make another bowl today, probably for lunch. That's kind of what I'm craving, but I don't have time to make it before I go to church. So we're just doing a quick and easy breakfast, and then we're gonna make that whenever we get home for lunch, and I'll show you all everything because it's absolutely phenomenal. I do weigh everything, and I do weigh my bagels as well because they aren't always the same exact amount of grams. So I like to know, like on the thing it says 85 grams is serving size, but this one's 94 and that one's 97. So now we just have an exact count. But all I'm gonna do to start out is just slice my bagel in half like this, making one for my husband as well. Okay, so now I'm just putting this into the toaster. Okay, I don't know if you can see this, but I'm literally just putting this bagel in my toaster. My camera will not cooperate. We're just gonna toast that on high for like however long it takes to toast it.
Good morning, pineapple.
What the heck? Well, if we hurry, we can swing by the store and get Milani because we're out.
Oh, no, I'm ordering that coffee from Dunton's down there.
Now our bagels are done. We just have them on a plate like this. For my toppings, the first thing I do is 25 grams of light cream cheese. It's a little bit over a serving, ends up being like 50 calories. Like I said, we're weighing out 25 grams of light cream cheese. You can also do whipped. I kind of switch back and forth depending on just what texture I prefer. I've been liking the light one lately, so I've been using this one. You can do how much ever cream cheese you want, but 25 grams is like the perfect amount for me. Now it looks like this. We're doing two things. We're gonna put 3 packets of Splenda on it, and you just sprinkle it straight onto the cream cheese. And then the next step is ground cinnamon. So our bagel looks like this, and I load the cinnamon up on this, y'all, and it's so good. You don't have to put this much if you don't want to. It gives it so much texture. Okay, so this is literally how much I put. And then what I do is I take my bagel and you can use a knife if you're weird. I just move it around into the cream cheese so it's like all together in there. And then it's like a cinnamon swirl, and it's so freaking good. They're delicious. You need to try this. So basically, I'm gonna have this on the way to church. When we get back, it'll probably be around 12:30, and that's when I'm gonna have my loaded cereal bowl for lunch. I'm gonna show y'all all the things I put in it. We're gonna try a new recipe today, so stick around. Hey guys, okay, we finally got around to lunchtime. I did forget to show y'all that I ate a like granola bar while I was at church because they were in the snack room, and honestly my stomach was growling and I was getting hungry. So I grabbed one. They were like the made good granola bars, but they're only 100 calories. So that's the only thing I've had in between breakfast and then my loaded cereal bowl. I'm gonna post a video of the one I made today on TikTok too, but this one has blueberries, strawberries. I had a brownie on it this time, some s'mores protein batter. It is like just looking phenomenal and so good. I will say, when you eat a really carb heavy meal like this, you definitely want to be supportive for protein with your other meals. So like dinner, I already have it planned out. I planned my day so I could have this. This one only has about like 10 or 12 grams of protein because it's mostly carbs. It's not bad for you. You just have to be smart around the other choices you make. For dinner, I'm going to have like a really high protein sandwich and also a Greek yogurt bowl to go with it so that I can get my protein. I'm still going to get like 115 grams of protein in today, which is plenty for my weight. But anyways, I thought we could talk and kind of eat together today because I don't normally do like mukbang style videos, but I think they're really fun. And something that has been on my mind today with the holidays coming up, of course, because a lot of my clients are asking me like, Kelly, what do I even do during the holidays? How do I even still lose weight? Or how do I even stay successful during the holidays on a weight loss journey? Like, it's so overwhelming to them. And it was to me too at one point, and that's not anything to apologize for. The advice I give to them that I want to give to you is like, when we look at the holidays, if you're not looking at it as a season and you're looking at it as 3 days or 4 days of the year, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, and New Year's Eve, and you celebrate like you want to on those days, but you build consistency around them with every single other chance that you're given and every single other day of the year, it's not going to be enough to hinder you, right? Because that ratio is 4 days of maybe not counting your macros, maybe not tracking, maybe not working out or whatever, next to 3 or 4 huge months of consistency. It just doesn't have the ability to negatively impact you like that when you're focused on your habits long term and not just 0 to 100 where one day throws you off track and then you go down the never-ending spiral of not being able to stay consistent for yourself. Another tip I give to my clients in these situations, like especially like vacation, for example, is we tend to think of like, okay, if we're really restricting our food on vacation to the point where we're unhealthily, like mentally worried about all the calories and what we're eating and how it's going to impact your progress, that makes vacation miserable, right? But I also argue to them, the alternative to that doesn't have to be extreme overindulgence to where you make yourself sick or bloated or you feel low energy or you feel like crap or you feel a lot of food guilt or whatever. There is a balance in between the two extremes, and that's where success lies. That's where success outside of I'm only worried about my progress at this point lies. So what I do on vacation, for example, is like I eat the things that I want. I don't overindulge, and if I'm really full and I get to dinner, I might just get a side of fries or something, or I might just get a drink. If I have eaten things all day that I love and I'm not starving, why just because you're on vacation use that as an excuse to like overeat and overindulge and convince yourself that you're only going to have those experiences literally once in your life so that you have to make the most of it, and then push yourself into making yourself miserable with food and getting into the habit that you wanted to escape in the first place. I think it's so easy to argue that like if you treat vacation like that, you're gonna come home equally as miserable as the first scenario I just discussed, where you're like severely restricting yourself because you're worried about calories to an extreme point. When you realize that okay, I'm tainting my vacation and my experience just as negatively by extreme overindulgence as I am by extreme restriction, that's when you're going to be able to exist in the middle, not only picking the healthy option every single time, but also not forcing yourself into, oh, because I'm giving myself a little bit of flexibility to have things that I want, that means that I got to take it to extremes with unhealthy eating habits. And it does take intuition. It takes reinforcing those habits in your brain, because if you've been overeating or if you've been dealing with binge eating or if you've been dealing with restriction, whatever habits you have, your brain has reverted to that way of thinking, right? You have to be intentional about talking yourself out of the old thought patterns that make you act on restriction or overindulgence or binging or unhealthy food habits or even just food guilt. Just remember that going into the holiday season, that like if you eat stuffing and you eat rolls and mac and cheese and the things that you love, doesn't mean that you have to eat such large portions of those that you're stuffing yourself full to the point where you're miserable because you're like, oh, Thanksgiving, that's the spirit, and because I'm giving myself flexibility to not be in a calorie deficit today, I'm gonna make myself miserable and start tomorrow. That's when you really suffer from negative eating patterns that can produce weight gain or that can take away from your progress and that kind of thing. So be mindful, give yourself flexibility, and don't beat yourself up because you have 4 holidays within 3 months. Focus on what you can control and what you can do, and all of the rest of the 3 or 4 months that doesn't revolve around food and family. But I promise you, on Thanksgiving this year, I won't be counting calories. I'll be eating what I want with my family. Will I be eating to the point where I'm sick? No. I'm gonna get things off the buffet that I really like and I don't want to miss out on. Mashed potatoes, mac and cheese, stuffing. Am I gonna go and fill up my whole plate with a bunch of stuff that I don't really enjoy just because it's in front of me? No. I'm gonna have the things that I love. I'm not gonna think about calories, and the next day I'm literally just gonna do what I normally do to maintain the body that I have. Same thing with Christmas. Same thing with New Year's. When you do that, but you don't use the holiday as a season of like, oh, every single time someone brings something into work, it's a holiday, or every single time someone invites me to a Christmas brunch, it's a holiday. Like, the holidays are the days that are special, and it doesn't have to be turned into a whole season of 12 weeks of overconsumption, like around the holidays. And you can still enjoy your life, I promise. I do it every year. We are having life group that we normally go to every Sunday night, so we're gonna go there tonight. We always usually eat dinner together, but this time I'm probably gonna make myself dinner before I go, just because I don't think tonight will really work much into my calories and stuff, and I don't really care to eat before. I don't feel like I'm missing out or anything like that. If I really wanted to make it work, I would have, but it's not that deep to me. My next meal, what time is it? 2:28. So this is lunch. My next meal will probably be around like 5 right before we go. And then we'll probably be over there till like 8:30 or so. And then I'll come home and I'll probably have like a snack. I have one pre-logged in before I go to bed. Because when I eat dinner like 5 earlier before we go over there, I know I'm gonna be a little bit hungry when I get home. Also, cereal literally used to be a fear food for me. Like, I used to be so scared that cereal was gonna make me fat. Now I love it. So just remember that like your calorie deficit is flexible, weight loss is flexible. You can have things that you love. Foods aren't making you fat. Calories make you fat. A bunch of overabundance of calories make you fat, right? Be smart with your calories. Eat the things you love and you're gonna be so fine. Almost 4. We're about to go to our life group, but they're doing grilled cheese and tomato soup tonight. So basically what I'm gonna do is just make my own like grilled cheese turkey bacon sandwich that I normally eat and take that with me and have that there when everybody else is having the grilled cheese. I know I've done a video about how I make this before, but we can do it together because why not? This is one of my high protein go-tos whenever I eat like a more carb heavy meal before that and kind of need to make up for like lost protein, if that makes sense. So I am just spraying a skillet with some non-stick spray, and then I'm gonna heat this over high heat. I like to get that really hot before I put the turkey bacon on. Okay, so Butterball turkey bacon is the turkey bacon I always use. 60% less fat, and I'm just doing 2 slices of this, which is 60 calories. And I break these in half and put them on the pan because they go better on the sandwich if they're in half. So literally just break it like this. And I'm gonna throw these on my pan over here. It's okay if it's not completely heated up yet, but we don't wanna put the eggs on until it is completely heated up. Also, PSA, if you have not had the Sprite Zero Cherry Lime, these are so freaking good. I can easily go through a 12-pack in like 2 days. Okay, once our bacon starts sizzling over here, that's when we kinda know it's hot enough to be putting the eggs on. So I'm using egg beaters instead of regular eggs just so the macros are a little bit friendlier. When I weigh these out, I just put my egg beaters on the scale, zero it out, and then we're doing 2 servings, which is 94 grams. And I just pour this straight onto the pan and then measure. So that was 1 serving. We need a little bit more. Basically, I just kind of scoot the eggs all to one side, leave the turkey bacon on the other side. Just let both of them cook. We want the turkey bacon to basically get like a little brown, but where it's curving up on the edges before we put the bread on. And once we have what we're working with there, we can get our Better Goods keto bread. This is my favorite keto bread that I use. I get it from Walmart. I don't know if you can see that. I also spray each side of this with some spray butter. So now we can kind of turn this down to like low and kind of flip our egg over. Get it cooked on both sides. Also, I'm gonna flip my turkey bacon over. And this is gonna make room for our bread. So now I'm just gonna spray my bread and brown one side of it before I put my sandwich together. 2 pieces of keto bread, and then I do like 8 sprays of butter on each side. And then I flip that so I can start browning one side. Okay, basically what I'm doing is letting this bread brown on one side, then I'm gonna flip it, assemble my sandwich, and brown each side of the bread. I usually eat at youth group, but tonight I just really needed a higher protein dinner than what we were having there. So take it with me, and it's really similar to what everybody else is eating anyways, so I don't feel the need to be like, I need to eat that. So now we're gonna put our turkey bacon across our sandwich after we flipped the bread, and we're gonna stack our egg on top. Then, since that's still hot, now we're gonna melt our cheese on it. This is just a Kraft Single 2%. Cheese on top of the egg. We're about to assemble it and then brown both sides of the sandwich. And then now this is just kind of like on low heat, and I'm just gonna let both sides of the bread get brown. Okay, I don't think I've told my YouTube girlies this yet, but I've been taking these 2 supplements religiously. My first one is my magnesium glycinate, and then my second one is my Phoenix by Legion. This is a fat burner. It really is just like boosts fat loss, speeds metabolism, improves digestion, reduces hunger cravings, and then magnesium is so good. I've been sleeping so good since I've been taking this. It just has so many good benefits, so you probably need to start taking magnesium if you're not. It's so safe and healthy. And now, my sandwich is pretty much done, so I'm about to pack it into a little baggie to take with me. I'm just gonna put it in a sandwich bag. This is what I'm gonna have for dinner whenever I'm at youth group. Life group, why do I keep calling it youth group? I'm acting like I'm 17. So anyways, this is what I have for dinner. I'm gonna take this with me, and then I will probably have a snack when I get home as well. I'll try to take some videos at youth group with me eating that, but if I don't, just know that's what I had. And I'll see y'all whenever I get home for a snack afterwards. Last thing we're ending our day with, I'm gonna make a confetti yogurt bowl. I've been making it on TikTok for a while now, and I can't stop eating it. It's so delicious and so good. It's one of my favorite staples. Also, don't mind how pale I am right now. So I'm gonna show you everything that I put in it to make it this delicious, and then we're gonna snack on that and we'll be done for the day. The very first thing we need is some Fage Total 0% Greek yogurt. If you're sleeping on Fage, you need to stop. Genuinely, there really is no other Greek yogurt that's as good as this. So we're gonna do 300 grams into this bowl. It's thicker than any other Greek yogurt, which means that you can make like fluffy yogurt out of it and it just tastes a lot better and the texture is a lot better than trying to mix protein powder and disgusting like thin Greek yogurt. I've tried Great Value kind and it's just so bad. Oh my gosh, this worked out perfectly because we're about to like clear out the whole jar. I'm like scraping the sides to get 300 grams. Now we have our 300 grams of Greek yogurt. It's so white you probably can't see it. Next thing we're gonna put in there is Legion protein powder. This is the secret ingredient that really makes this taste like a confetti yogurt bowl. It's the birthday cake whey from Legion. You can use code KSTORY for money off if you wanna buy this, but we're doing 15 grams. If you want, you can also do an entire scoop, but the reason I do 15 is because I'm just trying to save some calories. So it just ends up being kind of like half a scoop. You have to mix this slowly or it's gonna like explode everywhere. But the next thing I add in it, because the Greek yogurt is so sour, I do need a little bit of extra sweetener instead of just doing the protein powder. I think a whole scoop of protein powder would work if you wanted to do that as well, but I'm just doing like 5 packets of whatever 0 sugar sweetener you want. I like my stuff really sweet, so you can kind of play around with the proportions and decide what you want, but when you mix this, you gotta be really careful. Honestly, it would probably help if you use a bigger bowl, but I love my little bowls like this, so. I don't know why, but I'm a firm believer that the things that you eat with, like your utensils and like the bowls and stuff you use, make a huge difference on how enjoyable the meal is. That is such a weird thing, but if I have too big of a bowl and my yogurt doesn't like fill it, I just don't feel like it's as satisfying. Is that weird? The fact that this yogurt fills the entire bowl is like, okay, this is a full meal, this is gonna satisfy me, but if I had a huge bowl, even if it's the same amount of yogurt, it doesn't feel like it's as satisfying. Another thing that you can add to this, which I haven't been doing lately just because I haven't been wanting to use the calories on it, also add Cool Whip to this and it makes the texture even a little bit more whipped, which I really like. A lot of times I eat this for breakfast or I eat it for dessert at night. It's like one of those things where you can have it any time of the day and it's gonna be so good. Once we have our yogurt all mixed up, we're gonna put our toppings on. First topping we're doing is Barnum's animal crackers. I like these better than regular animal crackers, so we're just doing 3 of these, which I think only adds like 20 calories. But I crush them up really small. So I want it like tiny little crushed up crust. Y'all can tell I'm like very particular about the way I eat my food. I just want my meals to be enjoyable as possible. And I mean, you can do as many animal crackers as you want, but this is just my preferred portion. Now we got the animal crackers all over there. Very last thing we have to add is sprinkles. This also adds to the texture, which I love. I just do 5 grams, and 5 grams is honestly more sprinkles than you would expect. Basically using all the sprinkles that we have left. Sadly, I don't even think I have 5 grams, but that's okay. And then this is what our final bowl looks like. Another great thing that you can add on top of this is Drizzlicious rice cakes. Those are so freaking fire. I've been obsessed with this lately. This basically wraps up my full day of eating. I was gonna do a sit down, eat this bowl with me and chat to you some more, but sadly my camera's about to die and I'm not gonna wait and eat this 30 minutes later for my camera to charge, so I love you so much. This whole day ended around 1,300 calories and I think 115 grams of protein. I'm not necessarily on a calorie deficit right now or anything, but some of my days just end up being in a calorie deficit without the intention because I eat such high volume and I still pay attention to my hunger cues while I'm eating intuitively and maintaining, so I don't feel the need to like go all the way up to maintenance calories every single day if it's not necessary. Now I will say that it works for me a lot of times when I'm maintaining to save a lot more calorie room for the weekend. It just helps me stay in a maintenance whenever my weekdays, Monday through Friday, do end up some of them in a deficit. On Fridays and Saturdays I tend to be doing things in my life where I'm a little bit busier, have more social outings, and so then I can give myself the freedom to, you know, go outside of my maintenance calories or go up a little bit more into a slight surplus, and it still averages out across the week so that I'm maintaining my weight properly. That's just what works best for me because it's honestly not hard for me to eat lower calorie in a deficit across the week because I work from home. I'm just not as busy with as much stuff to do. So I like having discipline during the week, eating really high protein, making sure I'm hitting my macros, and then kind of giving myself more flexibility. So like this weekend, for example, I had a day where I was like at 2,000 calories and I think a day where I was like at 1,700 or something. But because I am lower calorie throughout the week, it really just averages out, and then I weighed in the exact same weight the next day. And when you're tracking your weight consistently and you see how it fluctuates back up and down, you know like your eating patterns with your calories were fine over the weekend and that you can continue that cycle because your body's adjusted to it. Whenever I give myself flexibility on the weekends, I just don't focus too much on macros, but I do during the week. It really works for me and it allows me to give myself flexibility and like really enjoy my life even while I'm still paying a lot of attention to my health and what my body needs and fueling my body for training and that sort of thing throughout the week. Thank you for watching my YouTube video, what I eat in a day. I'll do more of these if y'all want. I'm gonna link my coaching application application below as always. So if you're a woman who really needs help with weight loss in a sustainable way where you feel full and satisfied and it's not complicated, check out the application below. If you apply, I'll reach out. And then I'm also gonna link my other socials on Instagram and TikTok as well. So go follow me there if you wanna see like more what I eat in days, more what I do to train, how I got my transformation, etc. And then subscribe and like this video. And I'll see y'all next Monday. Bye.